Now, the Boots Night Walk is back this year in support of the Irish Cancer Society Night Nursing Service.
Ambassador Maia Dunphy and Irish Cancer Society night nurse Christopher Horgan join us now to talk about Boots Night Walk and ways the public can support. Thank you both so much for joining us on the show this morning. Maia, I suppose I'll come to you first. You've decided to support it this year. Why?
Absolutely. I actually was going to do the walk last year, but I was away, and I've heard about how great this walk is. But I lost my mum 3 years ago to cancer. But even before that, I was always involved with cancer charities. But I think when you have lost someone to cancer, I think it just lands a little differently. And I think when you lose somebody, one thing I've realised since losing my mum is support and solidarity has become so important. And events like this, of course, the primary objective is fundraising for the Irish Cancer Society's night nurse services, which is incredibly important. But the solidarity at events like this, we're surrounded by people who have some of them have come through cancer, some have lost people to cancer, but there's a real sense of, I think, positivity and hope at these events too. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really lovely event.
Did you use any of the ICS services when your mum was going through her cancer?
We actually didn't. I had looked into it, and you know, as Chris will be aware, you can't always plan for these things. No. You know, end of life is very difficult, and we didn't get my mum home. In the end, it wasn't possible for us. But I think you realise that for people who can be at home or are able or want to be at home, it's you're very vulnerable. Yeah. And your home is such a special, important place. And people like Chris, I mean, they really are just angels who, you know, you don't want your home to become too clinical. And people like Chris come in and they become part of your family. And I see it with friends who've used their services, and just how important it is to have someone who come in who you can trust completely, 100% in your home.
Now, Chris, I know in my own family we've availed of the night nurse services not once but twice in the last few years. And it's such an important job you do, a difficult job to do as well, but putting yourself in the middle of all that much grief, how do you deal with it?
I suppose it's a professional boundary that you hold all the time, and linking with the family, you make that trust with the family, and you try to relieve their burden, because cancer is a battle that they're going through, and you're there to support them through it all the way, as the Irish Cancer Society is, with the multiple services that they offer free of charge for every person that's battling through cancer. So I suppose for myself, I have a professional boundary. I go in, I try and make peace, help the person that's battling cancer, and also show empathy and support through the family.
And when you are doing that, I mean, I know it can take, sometimes it's only one night, sometimes it's several nights. I suppose there is some sort of bond and rapport you have to build up and get sort of the vibe of the people you're with.
Yeah, absolutely. No two families are the same, and family dynamics are changing every day in Ireland, as we know. I suppose I'd always like to find out about the people's past, what they worked at, what life was before cancer, because I suppose cancer, like I said, it's a battle. It's taken so much of someone's life. So if we can go into someone's home and bring them back to life, or where they were in their past, or how the family remembered that person before they lie in the bed and take their final breath, well, I suppose that's something that you're getting empowered to do.
Yeah.
Okay, have you found yourself in situations where, you know, like it is respite that you're providing?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so that the family members can go off and get some rest, and then when you're gone, be it during the night or in the morning, they can then continue to care for their loved one. So do you find it difficult to separate yourself from there to get back to your own life? Because you're a dad.
No, I suppose you don't. I don't, to be honest. And you have to have that professional boundary. You can't carry someone else's pain around with you, and you have to be able to socially disconnect in that regards. And I'm very lucky that I do that in my own job that I do on a Monday to Friday. I do that in my own family life, my wife and kids. So I do have that disconnect, and I have other outlets that I get to go to. But I think all nurses, we're all human, and of course there's always going to be a case that will stick with you, or there'll be something that you carry on all the way through with you. But I suppose there's services there and the supports there for nurses as well as for families, and the Irish Cancer Society do support that all the way through. I suppose the Irish Cancer Society, they're a great service. They support people from the time they might find a lump, or they might be Googling symptoms. The Irish Cancer Society helpline is there. There's 13 daffodil centres across the nation that people can link in and they can get service, and there's Cancer Society nurses in those daffodil centres that can support the people through. Then you have the night nursing services, where last year the Irish Cancer Society gave 6,000 nurses to families of patients with cancer that allowed them to die at home, and that's lovely. Like when someone wants to die at home, that the Cancer Society can actually do that. And then you have the helpline that's available for everybody, and I suppose bereavement camps for children in Barrettstown. So there's a range of services for not only for the nurses but also for the patients and their families.
It's a beautiful and special
it's
thing
free.
to do, actually.
And it's absolutely free, yeah. And I suppose and that's the big thing. The Irish Cancer Society only receive 5% of their funding from the government. The rest of it's really heavily from the Irish public, and the Irish public are excellent, and that's why we want them to come out.
Exactly, and that's why this event is so important. It's a very big fundraiser. So we want everyone. It's September the 9th, 7 p.m. in Dublin's Phoenix Park. There's still loads of time to register. bootsnightwalk.com, register for €15. If you can't join us in Dublin, the Phoenix Park, you can walk in an area handier for you, or go into your local Boots and you can buy an honour tag for €3 to honour someone special. There's lots of ways to get involved. So bootsnightwalk.com. It's going to be an amazing night as well.
Yeah,
The Dublin Gospel Choir are going to be there. It's only 3 kilometres, so we're going to be walking. The runners are probably run. Runners have to run, don't they? They can't help themselves. We'll be walking it. Bring your dogs, bring your kids.
My mother, God rest her, used to say you'll never see a happy jogger, so walk it if you want. I'm all for the walking. Walk like you're late for mass. But genuinely, without the night nurse service, like we kept Mam at home, she would have had to go into a hospital, which she would have hated. And without the lovely night nurse we had, we all would have missed my mother's passing, I think, because you can tell when the end is near, basically. It wasn't expected that night, but it did happen that night. So we had time to get all her children around and be with her. And there's something very profound being with someone at their moment of passing, especially if it's someone you love. So having that sort of, and it's a skill. And it's a gift that you give to families. And and there's so many night nurses working around the country. Like you're one of how many now?
So there's just under 200 night nurses at the moment nationally working around, I suppose, nights and twilight shifts to give the respite for the families. And absolutely, like when someone's passing, it's such an intimate moment and it's such a family moment. And it's nice I personally step out of the room when it's coming close and allow the family to be there, because that's time and a moment you'll never get back in life.
But you've got the ability and the skill to tell the family and know these things as well, which is hugely important. Because it's nice to have respite, but then for the moment of passing, it's so important to be there if you can.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. And I suppose the Irish Cancer Society, personally and professionally, like we've used the Irish Cancer Society in my own family also.
Yeah.
But like when the loved one is ready to go, if the family is there, it's great. But like Irish people are great for the Irish goodbye as well. Someone lies in bed, they go to sleep, and
they wait till all their loved ones are gone and then they take off.
And that's okay too. Yeah. You know, like it's the power of being and the power of being around and the support. And if the Irish Cancer Society can support someone at being at home, that's what we're there for.
And as you say, Elaine, it's a time like nothing else in your life. And I think what the Irish Cancer Society do with these services, they offer peace to the person who is passing away, and they give a peace of mind to the family and bring a little bit of calm, which is what is needed at that time.
Yeah, they really do, in fairness.
They absolutely do. It's great to see you. And
you?
And it's lovely that you're using the word hope to describe this walk, because...
It's actually going to be, my friend did it last year and said it was actually a lot of fun. And again, the Dublin Gospel Choir are going to be there. It's going to be very uplifting. Hopefully the weather will hold. I'm sure it will.
But even if it doesn't, it'll still be a great experience.
We'll bring an umbrella, so it's going to be great. There's a gang of us going, so please come and join us. Lots of time to register.
Yeah.
And thank you both so much for joining us on the show today. Now, you can sign up to the Boots Night Walk on bootsnightwalk.com or buy an honour tag for €3 in any Boots store nationwide.